This video on hand chain hoists can be used for educational purposes or safety meetings in the workplace. This video will reference the ASME B30.16 standard, but the manufacturer's specifications must always be referenced and made accessible to users. Manufacturer-specific information will provide workers with the product's limitations, use, and inspection requirements. The three items required to be marked on hand chain hoists are the manufacturer's name, model or serial number, and the rated load. A product safety label must be attached displaying information concerning operating procedures and shall include cautionary language against misuse. Extreme temperatures can affect hand chain hoists. Always refer to the manufacturer specification for specific temperature ratings. A few reasons why a hand chain hoist may have to be removed from service are unusual sounds coming from operating mechanisms needed for proper operation and adjustment, damage to the hooks, hook latches not securing properly, gross damage to the load chain, hoist brakes not functioning properly, the load chain not feeding smoothly through the mechanism, reeving of the load chain, damage to the hook retaining nuts, collars, pins, welds, or rivets, or illegible markings. When performing a pre-lift check of a hand chain hoist, first take up the slack load chain or rope carefully. Lift the load a few inches to check the hoist operation and verify that the load is secured, balanced, and positioned properly on the hook and in the sling or lifting device. When applying force to the hand chain, it is important that only the force required to lift the rated load is achieved with the hand power of one operator. Under no circumstances should more than one person operate the hoist simultaneously. When operating a hand chain hoist, the operator must be positioned so they are free of the load, have firm footing, and adequate access to the hand chain. The operator should not position themselves underneath or below a load and should be able to operate the hoist comfortably with clear access to the hand chain. The hoist must be attached to the load by suitable means, such as slings, shackles, or eye bolts that must be seated in the base of the hook to avoid tip loading. The load chain must not be wrapped around the load. The chain hoist body, load block, and load chain must be directly in line with the direction of loading to avoid side pulling. The hoist body must not bear against any object. When storing hand chain hoists, it is best to store them somewhere safe and clean so the hoist can avoid mechanical damage, corrosion, moisture, and adverse temperatures. ASME states that there is a minimum annual periodic inspection required for hand chain hoists. Check with your employer and the hand chain hoist manufacturer for their equipment inspection schedule.